Hi, I just want to show you a quick trick for when you're setting up triggers in Tag Manager and you want to trigger off of an event on a page, like a button click or some other interaction with the page. So I'm in the 2 October's Tag Manager account, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start by clicking on Preview, which will now, this is going to open the Tag Assistant, and then I'm going to start. And that's going to open my website. Now I'm just going to drag this over here, and I'm going to tile these. So now I have my website over here and the Tag Assistant over to the right. And what I want to do is I'm going to scroll down the page and find an element that I want to be able to track. So let's say that I want to track this Mastering Google Data Studio workshop. So what I can do is I'm going to click on this button here, and it opened that tab. But if we scroll down here in Tag Assistant, we have this link click, and I can click on that, and then over here I click on variables, and then I can see what variables, what the state of each variable was when the click happened. And I'll show you in a second how to use that in Tag Manager. So looking down, when I'm setting up a trigger, what I'm mostly looking for is something pretty unique looking. And I have this MEC booking button, but I don't know how unique that is. I don't have an ID, which is unfortunate, but I do have a pretty specific click URL. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this over, copy that, click URL. Now I'm going to go back, and I guess what's interesting is you can sort of browse around and try different variables and again see what the state is that Tag Manager sees. I mean, another way to do this is when you're looking at this button, you can right click on it and then you can inspect it. And that works okay. The thing that I found is that when I find variables associated with the element, when I inspect it, they're not always the variables that show up to Tag Manager when the click happens. So, and that could be because there's sort of JavaScript getting in the way. It could be that the element that you're inspecting is not necessarily the element that the person clicks on. So I find just actually doing the thing that I want to track and then checking the state of variables over here. So I'm going to go and make this bigger. So I've copied that URL now. I'm going to go into Tag Manager. I'm going to go to set up a trigger, and I'll create a new trigger, and my trigger configuration, let's say I'm going to track for a click, and I want all elements, but I only want some clicks. So then I've got my click URL, and I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to paste in that value that I copied. It's got quotes around it. We don't want those. And so there we go. And I can save that, I can name it, and then I can use it to track when somebody clicks. And keeping in mind that there may be other buttons on the site that when they're clicked on go to that page. And so I might want to limit it to this page. I could also add other variables to it, like I had that the class of that button. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say the click URL equals this. I'm going to pop over to here, and then I'll pick the, because you can see this is a button here. So that's a click class. I'll go back into Tag Manager. I'm going to say that the click class contains, because a button could have more than one class. Right now it only has one, but I'm going to, I say right now because somebody could change that. So the click classes contains, so now just based looking at that class, it's going to be a button, it's a booking button. It could be that that button exists on other pages, but I actually think that's good, because what I'm interested in is when somebody clicks on that button to look at that class. Look at that workshop. So there you go. Just a quick way to inspect, rather than using inspect, to use the Tag Assistant to see what variables Tag Manager sees. And this is something that I find troubleshooting a lot, that somebody has set up a trigger in Tag Manager using inspect, but the inspect has misled them, and they're actually tracking the wrong, looking for the wrong thing to trigger the event that they want to track. Thank you.